o'clock. You know what time it is. Jeremiah Bullfrog Cuts it up. Coming to you live, YouTube. Let's go. Jose and I are super excited to bring you Grilling 101. We're taking it through techniques. We're going to run the gamut on what you can grill. We're going to give you all the ins and outs and what you need to know. Right about now, sipping on my Jonathan Wakefield Whip It Good. It's a sour ale and it is quite delicious. I hope you have a cold frosty beverage or whatever you like to imbibe upon. And Jose, how about we drop an intro? Hey, here we go. It's Wednesday, live from the lab, 7 o'clock, isolation station, the isolation station. What's good? You know what that means. Here we go, go. Well, all right. There it is, the intro. You know it's official. Season 2, Episode 8, 16 episodes in the bag, live cooking show. Jose and I bringing you entertainment to keep you, well, entertained. I hope everyone's doing well this evening, this Wednesday. We're going through quite a big chunk of real estate in the culinary department. We're covering grilling. There's a lot you could do on a grill. There's a lot of different grills. There's a lot of things that you could fuel your grill with, right? And there's going to be a little tongue-in-cheek grilling later on as well. My dude Mars Timms hooked it up with another one of his hilarious skits. We also have a special musical guest, Preem Cordice. Shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to Preem. He's blessing us with a track. So super excited to get into it. I know Jose's excited. We were just cutting it up. See what I did there? Again, if you didn't join us at the top, I'm drinking the Jonathan Wakefield Whip It Good. It is a sour. And at this time, I'd like to do a little roll call. If you're tuning in, drop me some comments below. Let me know where you're at. Let me know who you are if it's your first time. Let's go. Axel, what's up? Lenny. Oh no, Lenny's got wildfire issues. Well, blessings to you, sir. Hope you stay safe. Mike Whipple, what's good, man? Thanks for jumping on. See, we've got some first timers. So the way we do it is we just try to drop some knowledge bombs on you, keep you entertained, make sure it stays fresh all the time. If you have questions, hit me in the comments. Jose will proctor those and make sure we try to get those answered. We're going to go over some technique. I'm going to show you a whole lot of grilling. We got a couple of dishes. Welcome Julia, welcome Michael. As always, cheers guys. Hope you're well in your neck of the woods. And let's get into it because I got 2 dishes. We got a hell of a lot of information to get through. So again, if I'm going too fast, if you want me to say it in Spanish, just let Jose know, and we're gonna keep you entertained. All right, guys. So grilling, right? Grilling 101. It's the lowdown. You know, everyone always tells me they love to to smoke on their barbecue. And I always tell them, I'm like, barbecue is one thing, grilling is a whole nother thing. Grilling is a technique, right? It's radiant heat from the bottom. You could do direct or indirect heat. And slow and low smoke, that's barbecue. That's a whole nother episode. We're not even getting that far today, guys. But we are going to kind of show you all the different cooking mediums on a grill. I try to dot all the top ones to give you guys the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3. So on technique, as far as grilling, there's a couple of just super important things. Having worked grill station in a super busy restaurant on a Saturday night, you're feeding 500 people. You're grilling that's 45 filet mignons, that's 50 halibut, all your vegetables come off the grill as well. You kind of learn these tips and tricks, and so I want to bless you guys with these. And here we go. So the most important things on your grill is that for the most part, it's ripping hot. There are a couple instances when you want it a little lower. I'm going to actually show you that. But a hot grill, you need your hot grate, right? What you're going to cook on is your grill grates. And then you want those to be clean as well, right? So if you're trying to grill a piece of fish on a grate, if that grate isn't clean, the fish is going to stick. If it's not hot, fish is going to stick. I personally have kind of gotten away from that whole making the cross hash marks on the grill. I feel like that over carbonization on the protein, it's sometimes off-putting and unpleasant. Brian, what's good? Welcome. JC, welcome, guys. Hope you have a cold beer as well. Cheers, my dudes. So those are the super important tips and tricks, right? Let's before we even get into the first dish, hey Jose, show us how to get lit.
Turn the fire up, get it high enough. Hit up the boy Jeremiah, tell him the time is up. Set whatever don't matter up on the back burner. We got the grill lit, the chef about to serve you. Clean grates over high heat, now we cooking. Similar to when I speak on my beats. I'm rare as my preference when eating prime beef. For chef work, even the vegans when I decline meat. Bosses, we ain't talking Migos when we offset. Low and slow, please respect the process. Oh yes, live from the barbecue. And you know the homie invited, he cooking up like your mama do, and he honorable. He gon' bring Miami to the cookout. Competition watching hard like a lookout. He do it better than any meal you ordered and took out. And he ain't even gotta bring the cookbook out.
There it is. First one in the bags. How to light your grill, how to get lit. Shouts to Bev, thanks for joining. Brian's talking about injecting some steaks. We can get into some of that marinade talk in a bit. Shouts to my dude Preem from the Atlanta, from the Dirty, from the Super South. Freestyle off the top for me, and he made that beat himself, so shouts to Preem. Yo, appreciate it, my man. Check in the description below as usual. We have a couple of recipes. There's some links to some important materials. If you saw in the charcoal fire in that video, I like to use these natural fire starters. They're usually some sort of wax or a resin, and it's just some sawdust, so it lights real quick and it burns real hot for an extended period of time and gets all your charcoal going. That fire there, it took about 30 minutes from start till it was ready to grill. So, you have to plan ahead. Obviously, cooking with charcoal, you're doing it outside. You don't want to, do anything silly where it isn't well ventilated. Charcoal is producing carbon monoxide, bad combination, right? So there's safety out of the way. On the charcoal tip, since we're touching upon it, there's a couple different types of charcoal. I get this question all the time, like, hey chef, which one should I buy? The answer is never buy, well for me, do not buy charcoal with lighter fluid. For me that stuff is usually some sort of chemical in the gas. And the smell for me is super off-putting. I could smell it from a couple miles away. And then if you are, for some reason, you have to use that pre-soaked with lighter fluid for your charcoal, let it burn off, for gosh sakes, because that will burn off after a certain period of time. It's the same thing when you're using those little wax, the starters. That'll burn off, and then you have just your natural charcoal fire. The beauty of doing charcoal fire for your grill is that, number one, it's ragingly hot, right? 500 to 700 degrees, depending on your actual grill. And then you get an amazing flavor imparted, right? So what is charcoal? Charcoal in briquette form is usually like sawdust that is compacted, compressed with a machine using hydraulic pressure to make those cakes. And then it's carbonized or charcoaled, kind of like Han Solo. When you make charcoal, you're jacking the temperature up well over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you're cutting off its oxygen source. And then that's what forms charcoal. Which brings me to lump charcoal. I'm a huge fan. You can get like the Japanese stuff, which gets a little expensive, but you get these beautiful logs. There's a couple of brands that I enjoy, like Fogo Charcoal. You're getting beautiful lump pieces of coal. It's just like a branch of wood that's been carbonized or turned into charcoal, and it burns really hot for a really long period of time, and you get less flare-up. One last note on briquettes. The reason I like to use them, or other people do like to use them, is because you know how long they burn. Each briquette. So, for example, like guys who are doing this in competitions, they know how long their fire lasts, when their fire is perfect. You just kind of get a feel for cooking over briquettes. And so don't want to get too preachy there. There it is, in the bag, charcoal. Now you know how to light a fire. You can also use a chimney. It's sort of like a metal cylinder that has a lot of open air. Works great as well. I think mine got left at the beach or something, So, Jose, let's jump into winner grilled chicken dinner. Bang, there it is. Grilling number 2 in the bag. There it is, propane grilling, cooking over gas. Completely different animal. Has its super useful connotations. You know, I wanted to make sure to show you something that you could do just about every night of the week. You know, what you get with a gas grill, whether it's propane or natural gas, is that it's always sort of ready to go at the snap of a finger. All you got to do is go out, you know, turn your tank on or just turn a valve. You know, these amazing gas grills these days, they have their own self-starters. You just, you know, turn the burner on and it sparks it for you. And you're cooking in like 20 minutes. You know, obviously preheat your grill so that it gets hot. Going back to, you know, the first conversation, you want to make sure your grill grates are hot. You know, one of my favorite things to do is chicken on a grill. Long before Pollo Tropical, Jeremiah Bullfrog was grilling up some chicken, something delicious. And so on that chicken, it's literally just salt. Because for me, I don't like a marinade, or I don't like to oil my meats or my proteins before they go on the grill. I like to oil the grates real quick to make sure they're sort of like non-stick. If you preheat that grill, get it cranking, you can leave the lid down while it's heating up, and it causes that convection, right? The air is going to heat up inside the grill and bring the whole chamber up. And then once it's hot, you open it up and you lay your whatever you're cooking. In this case, it was chicken legs. And then so for chicken, as I was alluding to earlier from the top, is you want to turn that flame down. You want to get the flame to almost like its lowest setting. And then if you have that low setting, it's not going to scorch the skin, and you have to turn it once or twice so it cooks evenly as well. I like to leave the lid closed when I'm cooking chicken, and so you get that sort of convection going on inside of the grill, right? So there it is. That's cooking method number 2. It's we showed you how to light the grill. We showed you some grilled chicken for dinner. You know, fire it up, guys. Weather's nice. It's summertime. It's grilling season. So let's go. An extra special treat. Let's take a look at what my dude Mars Timms has for us this week.
Our usual time, I see. Pull up a chair, Agent Starling. I'm looking to do a little grilling. Perhaps even grilling some fava beans. Where's Clarice? She decided to take the day off. Who are you? I'm Agent Jones. I'm here in our place. Dear, and Clarice is my girlfriend. I do say this is disappointing. You and Agent Starling are an item. Can we get back to the case, please? Didn't know she was into black guys. What does it matter? She can clearly be into whomever she likes. It's just the southern accent. What does that have to do with anything? Do people know that you're dating, or is it like a secret? What about your parents? Are your parents fine with it? I mean, you do know the old black saying, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. Why is this so hard for you to understand and figure out? You smell like barbecue ribs. Watch it. I can smell your Jordan cologne. So let me tell you something, Mr. Lecter. If my girl comes back in here and I hear anything, I mean anything, about you talking any sort of disrespectful way to her, making her feel uncomfortable, not giving her the information that she's requesting of you, then I will take your ribs to a family reunion, throw them on the grill, and serve them with a side of baked beans. Fine. I'm sorry. What a psycho. You should be locked away.
guys think, huh? Mars Tim, Chicago, Pimprov. The dude's hilarious. I was like, yo, Mars, we're wrapping up season finale. Season 2's coming to a close. What do you got on grilling? And that's what my homie hits us up with. A little tongue-in-cheek play on grilling. Shouts to Mars. Check him out. In the description, I put a link to his website. If you need a good laugh, I love following that dude on Instagram. He posts a new video like every Tuesday, and it's always good for a chuckle. He's got this series he's doing where he goes on these walks, and I always find myself laughing. So thank you, Mars. Appreciate it. Rolling right along. Let's get into some cooking. How about that, y'all? I want to start the first dish and just kind of get into it. Don't want to jump too far ahead, but one of the styles of cooking and cooking over charcoal. Hey, Jose, let's take a look at Cam 2 real quick, huh? Exciting part of the show when this... Oh, all right, we got a new angle, huh? A little different. So, you can come back up on one, sir. All right. So I have this zucchini that has been charred over charcoal. You're going to see this technique coming up a little later in the show. And I'm going to make a zucchini salad for y'all. It's just, that was good. It's a seasonal, it's a great summertime salad. Jose is going to bounce in between the two different angles when he sees fit and give you guys the lowdown. I will talk and cook at the same time. I am making charred zucchini salad. It can be served, it's sort of like a room temp, kind of like a warm salad. I'm taking this charred zucchini and just making some half moons. You can cut it into whatever shape you like. Say you wanted to, let's see, what else could we do with this sucker? We could take this part and just give it a little dice, right? So it's cooked through, but it still has a nice crunch to it. It has this wonderful char going on, because, it is a grilling episode. It is certainly not a salad episode. We may do that in the future. Hey, somebody take notes. Salad episode. Michael likes the new angle. Appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, she can't use a comb. Don't bring her home. Bev knows what's up. So onwards and upwards with zucchini salad, because this is a cooking show. So I've got my zucchini. It has been cooked and it is room temp, and it's going in a bowl, right? Can you guys see that bowl? I can't quite tell if the angle is there. Jose, are we looking in the bowl or at the bowl? Good. All right. Yeah, how about that, huh? We're cooking with gas. Nice. I'm going to grab myself another beer in a second, too. Shouts to Jay Wakefield for making delicious, delicious beer. So zucchini in the bowl. I'm just going to season it with some salt. Nothing crazy. I literally just threw this thing on the grill to get some char. And that's it. So now we're going to start building our flavor profile. Some of the ingredients that I have prepared for the salad. This is cauliflower that has been caramelized. We have some capers. They've just been drained. Here I have some raisins. These raisins have been rehydrated in a little red wine vinegar and just some water. And it makes them sort of more plump. And it cuts a little bit of the sweetness. And then here we have some toasted pine nuts. These are my favorite thing on earth. Oh yeah. Almost burnt $10 worth of pine nuts toasting them. But what I do is I take the pine nuts, I take a pot of olive oil, and I fill it up a couple inches deep. I put the pine nuts in the olive oil, and I just kind of like fry them. And then just strain all that oil out, and then you save that oil. So it's like a twofer, right? I'm a huge fan of these twofers, because you get 2 products out of 1. I have now pine nut fused olive oil, and I have delicious pine nuts that are amazingly golden brown, and it just brings out the flavor. If you guys ever want to know why pine nuts are as expensive as they are, when I was a stagiaire in Spain, I had to peel pine nuts, and I'm not even kidding you. It is the top 3 worst jobs in the kitchen. You're taking this pine cone or pignone, and you're peeling out these what look like garlic cloves, and it has this crazy resin on it, so you can't wear gloves, right? You can't wear the surgeon's gloves, because then the gloves stick to the fruit, to the pignone. So you're barehanded, you got all this resin building up on your fingers, and then you have to take these garlic cloves and pare them down to get that little teeny nut comes out of it. And when it's fresh, it's like crazy soft, because it's still hasn't been dried out. So that's why pine nuts are expensive, huh? Listen to all the knowledge that you're getting here on Jeremiah Bullfrog Cuts It Up. You came for the grilling, and you get stories about pine nuts, because that's what we do. All right, so let's make it haste. Zucchini in the bowl. Now we're going to start seasoning it. It's got salt. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of this pine nut oil, right? Because pine nut oil is certainly delicious. And so there is a method to my madness. I'm hitting it with olive oil first, right? Because it is covering the zucchini in a sort of protective layer, and now comes lemon for acid. I'm just gonna waken it up a bit. I'm just putting it through these little tea strainers so I don't get any seeds or pulp. Nothing like fresh lemon. It just sort of has that nice little pop, right? Just give that a little stir around. And so what's happening in the bowl, right, is that, yes, we're coating this vegetable. It is also starting to thicken a little with the pectin from the veg, and that's what we want. I'm gonna add a little chili. I've got these bird chilies that are quite spicy, so I don't need much. You can certainly use crushed red pepper, or whatever chili you like. So in goes the chili pepper for a little heat. Now, the classic Sicilian sort of salad garnish preparation is pine nuts, raisins, and capers. You could do this on any veg, with cauliflower. It's a traditional one. You can use it to garnish your fish dish. It's an awesome combination. I'm not a huge fan of raisins. I don't really care for anything too sweet in my food, but this one you get a free pass. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little room so you see what's up. So in this sort of salad goes our cauliflower. Again, it's just been cooked through, nothing crazy. It is tasty on its own, because whatever's going into your composed salad needs to taste good as well, right? Nobody wants to eat a salad and then sort of like one ingredient isn't flavorful. So season everything that goes in, then you're gonna have an awesome product. So now I'm gonna chop these 3 ingredients together in about equal portions. Capers for the salty brininess, raisins for their sweetness, and pine nuts for their texture, right? They have a beautiful crunch, and they also sort of have this like little fattiness going on. So just doing like a once or twice over. It's really the raisins that you need to, for me, that you need to sort of get into smaller pieces. I'll leave some of these pine nuts in their whole form. Could you do this in a food processor? Absolutely. Do I like getting my knife out on my boozebach? Absolutely. Am I gonna cut my finger while we're making a live stream? Geez, I hope not. If that happens, Jose, call 911. So here we go. We're making charred zucchini salad. It's one of my favorites. You should be making this too because it's summer. Fire up the grill. If you're making a charcoal fire, nothing better to throw on that. Like when you're done cooking and you take a look back at that grill and that fire is still like perfectly burning with white embers, throw some veg on there, right? Make yourself a salad. Save it for the next day or meal prep for the week. This is what cooking's all about, guys. It should be pleasurable while you're doing it, and it should be rewarding. So there's the ramble. In we go. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like, sort of like a pesto, right? It's a great combination. If you guys have never had any Sicilian dish with this combo, man, try it for Mike Whipple. Not his favorite, but anything over a charcoal grill. All right. So here we go, just mixing up this little composition because that's what it is. You could do this with any combination. If you want to do it with just the cauliflower, hey, by all means. Maybe you have some broccoli rabe. Maybe you have a nice piece of fish. This same preparation goes a long way. So just going to take it to the plate. Want to get rid of this because it has done its job. Thank you, Booze Block. Right? Literally, thank you, Booze Block. So here's another little addition. When I cooked the raisins, or sort of like plump them up, I saved the vinegar. It's mostly red wine vinegar and a little water. So I'm going to add a little more acid and sort of bolster up that lemon juice. When you add a couple of different acids to a dish, they act in different ways, and they sort of carry these flavors through. So we're gonna go. Let's take it to the plate. Get this out of the way. Let's go with this beautiful, awesome FOH kiln. I love this thing. Makes my food look amazing. So I'm gonna just throw a couple of these arugula leaves down. It's gonna add a little pepperiness to the dish. And we're calling it a salad, so let's make sure there's some greens. I'm gonna give this a quick taste. I bet you it's money. Jose, you think it's money? I mean, it is TV, but I'm doing this for real. Let's see. Wow. It is nice. Here we go. Onto the plate. Isn't it nice? Tons of textures. Looks great. If it looks good, it's gonna taste good, right? That's a thing. Shouts to the Japanese for making sure that food looks delicious before we eat it. I'm not trying to build up any sort of hype here because that was a thing that has come and gone in culinary. And there it is. Give it a little drizzle of this pine nut oil. Woo-hoo-wee! Bring out the sheen. A couple little more pine nuts. A couple little capers. And I'm not going to hit it with a couple of these leaves on top too for their pepperiness. Sometimes I like to take my arugula and keep it in ice water to keep it nice and crisp. This has held up quite nicely. And there it is, guys. Jeremiah Bullfrog cuts it up. Dish number one. Are we getting a good shot of that? Dish number one in the bag. Boom, 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 boom. Here it is, guys. It's charred zucchini, raisins, capers, pine nuts, and a little bit of caramelized cauliflower The recipe is in the description below. And I want to show you guys what grilling in the wild is all about. There it is, guys. Yet another grilling technique for everybody. Shouts to Spencer Garn, the Spencer Garn trio, now out of Atlanta. He used to be in Gainesville. Dude's super talented. I love his music, and I think it's an awesome addition to the videos. So yeah, shouts to Spencer. And that was cooking over wood, right? Like real deal logs. You know, we had the opportunity to get out of Dodge and go into the wild in one of our beautiful state parks. You know, when you go to like a park and it's got that grill, those were crazy. Those were like big, giant cement. They've probably been there for 100 years. Even the iron grate was like locked on there with a chain. You know, super awesome to cook on those things. I sort of make it like a challenge for myself. I keep a bag, I call it my go bag, at the ready. You know, some people keep a go bag if they're doctors, you know, if they're, you know, have to deliver a baby. For me, it's full of, you know, like grilling tools. I always got my tongs, I got like a fork, you know, I keep a torch, and, you know, bring whatever, you know, cooking fuel I'm going to use. In that case, I was going to use real deal wood. You know, wood takes a while to burn down, because what you're doing is you're turning whole wood logs into charcoal, right? You're letting it burn down into embers. So that sort of takes like 50 minutes to an hour. So you need to be patient, you know, light it up, go to the beach, do whatever you're going to do in the park. And then when you come back, you're ready to cook. Those are kind of cool because you can adjust the levels, right? You can bring up the grate, bring down the grate, and get it closer to the action. So what I like to call that is sort of like an offset, right? The distance from your grates to your fire, I like to call your offset of your grill. Sometimes you want it a lot further away, so it cooks slower. Sometimes you want to bring it closer. You know, like when Japanese grill, you know, like yakitori or robotan, whichever style, it's generally like these fatty meats that are real close to the fire, and so it doesn't have a chance really to flare up because it's like right there. So there it is. There's a little more knowledge bombs on grilling. I'm gonna start prepping the last dish as we talk. Shouts to Neza, glad you made it. Mike Whipple hit me up for the keto thing, man. Been rocking keto for quite some time. You know, happy to share recipes. I think we might even do a keto-inspired episode. It'll definitely be nutritional based. Maybe we'll run through a couple of different eating lifestyles. Right, so here we go. I'm gonna crack another beer. I need to reset for dish number 2. We're gonna show you lobster. It's a real cool technique on the grill, and I'm gonna finish it something nice. So Jose, let's take a look at the strawberry grouper. There it is, cooking fish over charcoal. One of my favorite things to do also, for its flavor on the dish, right? I'm not looking for those hash marks. I'm not looking to sort of carbonize or char the flesh at all. Fish is nice and delicate. Get yourself one of those super cool grill baskets, and then it makes it real easy to turn. Great tool to have, great tool to use on the grill. So I'm going to get started. Jose, how are we looking now on the reset on camera 2? Are we looking okay with this new setup? Just want to make sure before we get going. Cool. So I've got the pan heating up. We're running through a spiny lobster dish. This is spiny lobster that's already been grilled. I want to show you how I finish it. So if you're looking here at this bad boy, this is a spiny lobster. It's local. Lobster season just started here. Super duper fresh. The money is in the tail. It has been charred on the complete outside of the lobster, so it has this sort of another dimension to it. And I'm going to start this sauce. I've got my lobster stock in the back. You guys can check out the recipe in the description below, as always. If you haven't subscribed and given me a thumbs up, please do so. We're trying to grow the old YouTube. My ongoing joke is I'm not a 14-year-old. Help a dude out. Let's see. All right, there we go. So pan's heating up. I've got some leeks. So I'm just gonna blast through these so I can start the base of this sauce. And this is called a nage. It's like a French, it's a French sauce. I think it was derived from like a sauce Nantua originally, which is like a variation of a mother sauce. Not to bore you with culinary, sort of like culinary classics, but this is this comes from a traditional French dish. I like to sort of, put my own sort of thing on it. Hang tight. Daddy needs another brewski. There we go. So another one of these delicious sour beers from J. Wakefield. Yes, that was in fact what I quite needed at this time. So my pan's getting nice and hot. And so my little take on this is coconut. I like to add a little sort of like Caribbean little vibe to it. So I'm starting off with coconut oil. It's a little hot. In go my leeks. just to sort of start the base of this sauce, right? You don't have leeks, you have onions. That works. I'm going to throw a little more of this little Thai bird chili in there. You know, this dish could be sort of like Southeast Asian vibes as well. I think it's a great way to pair the lobster. You know, the flavor profile is quite amazing. So there it is. Leeks are kind of like getting soft. I'm going to hit it with salt. That's just going to draw out some of the moisture on those leeks and slow down the cooking. We're just going to keep building our sauce. I've got some coconut cream. I've got some tomato paste and some, it's actually tomato, just like chopped peeled tomato with nothing else in it, just tomato. I'm going to strain off my lobster stock. This has been cooking just before we started. It's got an amazing nose to it. It's full of the lobster carcass. I had some shrimp. I put my shrimp heads in there. I've got some fish scrap, some celery, the tops of the leeks. Nothing goes to waste. So I'm going to just give this a strain. There it is. Super, super flavorful. Smells amazing. You know, we don't want any of your, you don't want any of this to go to waste, right? We only really eat, I'm going in with tomato. You know, we don't want to waste any of the animal, right? So it's important that we utilize the entire thing from stem to seed, from nose to tail, right? From fin to dorsal, however you know, whatever catchy saying you want to use, that's what we're doing here. I'm going to crank the heat just a little. I like to get a little color here on my tomato paste. It helps cook out a little of that raw tomato. It is kind of concentrated. Again, in the description below, take a look. Guys, what do you think? Grilling 101, how we doing? We're running through. We're doing dish number 2. Still got a couple of things to show you. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm hitting this with the stock to slow it down, give it a little deglaze. Jose, show them the caveman style. And there it is, caveman style cooking. Now you have the lowdown on why this is grilled lobster. Caveman style is it's a no-brainer. You light a nice lump fire and you put whatever you're cooking directly on the coals. You know, if you could take a look at this thing again, you know, all that beautiful char on the shell, that is coming from direct contact. And so you want to do this something smart, right? I did it with the zucchini as well. And while I'm talking, I'm going to finish up this dish. I want to cut the carcass up here of the lobster because I want to add some of this to my lobster. Naj, you could see it's coming down, right? I'm sort of like reducing it. So give it a couple of quick snips. and then I'm gonna pull like these legs off, right? Because on a spiny lobster, the shell is super, super hard. But you know, there's the tamale in there. There's not as much fat in a Florida lobster, obviously, than a northern lobster. But again, we like to use everything. So we'll scoop some of that out, get it in there, stir it around. All right, and it's got that beautiful char it's gonna add to our sauce. So that's what we're doing, we're building a sauce. So in goes our shell as well, because the shell has some great flavor. The legs, those go bye-bye. So if you're checking out the description, guys, who's with me? Jamming it out. Episode 8, season finale, season 2, bringing it to a close. Lobster nage, cooked caveman style. Bay leaf goes in. Whoa, nice fresh bay leaf. We want to try to extract as much flavor here as we can. So now we're going to take the tail, and on this Florida lobster, you know, I like to just get down to business. I like to snip it with my shears down the bottom of the shell and the top of the shell. And it does have these spikes, so you want to be careful you don't rip your hands wide open. If you have shrimp, you could do this with shrimp. You know, if you're up in the Northeast and you have beautiful, you know, cold water lobster, like a Maine lobster, obviously that works as well. You know, lobster nage is great. If you have a nice piece of fish like swordfish, you know, that works. So now we want to get our tail back in. Let's get that flavored with the sauce as well. Who's with me? Come on, guys, drop it in the comments. Episode number 8, season 2. That's 16 episodes in the bag. Jose and I have been rocking it out, keeping you entertained. Coming to a close. Roll call, let's go. Neza knows what's up. Drop it, let me know what's good. All right. So now, the dish is just about done. I'm going to finish it with a couple of things. I've got this beautiful coconut cream. That is like the fattiest of the coconut milk. It's sort of like a Thai style. I've got this awesome Bliss fish sauce that has been aged in the barrel. And I have some couscous. Just some pearled couscous. You know, nothing crazy at all. It's just been steamed through, and I want to just add a little bit. Let me taste this broth, right? Because we got to make sure it's good. I'm gonna hit it with the fish sauce to see how much salt we need. So there's about a tablespoon. Give it another quick little taste. I like to adjust my salt now. That is nice. Salinity is there. So I'm taking out some of the sauce just to go over my couscous. Give that a good stir. We're going to add a little bit of this couscous as a base. Just a little, start our dish. And let's get this sucker out of there. We've got all of that goodness in. Start to make it look beautiful. And so now I've got a little space. I can add a little of this couscous. It's going to help thicken your sauce as well, because couscous has some starch to it, right? It's a semolina pasta. Michael, this is a dish for 2. So you and a loved one, you know, treat your sweetie right. Finish summer off strong. Breaking up that couscous. Let's take the bay leaf out. It's done its job. Here's a pro tip for the cook. You take the bay leaf, and you pull it between your teeth. and you get all that extraction goodness. Bay, like fresh bay, what a great flavor. A little squeeze of fresh lime. Again, we're going sort of like, you know, it's kind of like tropical here. I'm turning up my heat because my lobster tail has picked up all the flavor it's gonna get from the sauce, and it's going in the dish as well. We'll just sort of like recreate it. Doesn't it look like you're on like a Caribbean island or something? Huh? You're getting the special of the day. Fresh, local, spiny lobster. Lobster nage. Got fish sauce. Got that beautiful lobster stock. Plenty of tomato. And now let's finish it off. Instead of heavy cream, there's no butter. We're hitting it with this beautiful coconut cream to sort of thicken it and enrichen it. Look at the color change. Oh my, my. I know what I'm eating for dinner, and I am excited. Letting this reduce just a touch more. And while that's happening, Jose, how about some shrimp on the Barbie? And there it is, guys. A little shrimp on the Barbie, huh? That was lump charcoal cooking as well. You know, when you get that fire just right, you want to utilize it as best as you can. That's an old kettle style grill, you know, the round suckers. And it radiates heat amazingly. So if you just get in that bowl some lump charcoal burning down, you can utilize that heat a couple of different times. There's no grate on that because we're cooking, like I was talking about offset, you're cooking closer to the heat source. And then because those shrimp are so close to the fire, there's really not as much flare up. And then anytime there is a flare up, the juices are coming out of the shrimp, it's kissing the charcoal and it's steaming the shrimp. And you know, that's what grilling's all about, guys. And now is the time of the show that I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me. It's been a hoot. Season 2 in the bag. We're going to bring it to you strong for Season 3. We're again taking a 1-week break. I know Jose needs it. I know I need it. And we'll be back September 9th. Somebody check a calendar. Don't hold me to that. But keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, please, guys. And hey, appreciate it. Fab, thanks for hanging. Michael Hoff, thank you, sir. Let's finish this dish because I am hungry. So how are we looking here on the beauty shot? We've got the couscous down. And we've got that spiny lobster that's been cooked caveman style. I'm going to finish my sauce with some of this arugula again. I love cooked arugula. It's sort of like very underutilized. When I cook it, I almost think of it like an herb. And you can see this sauce is reduced just enough so the flavors are even more concentrated. It's very, very lobster forward, which is obviously what we want. It has some of that... I'm going to hit it with just a touch of salt now. It's got beautiful tang from the lime. It's got some fattiness. I'm killing the heat. It's just lobster forward. It's like lobster hitting you in the mouth. So here we go. Hitting it with this beautiful sauce all around our lobster. Fresh, spiny lobster. It's in season. It is sustainable. Another important note before you guys buy your seafood, check the Monterey Bay Aquarium seafood watch list. Make sure your seafood's not endangered or not overfished. And there it is, guys. 2 dishes in the bag. You saw six different ways from sideways. Spiny lobster cooked caveman style. So charcoal fired spiny lobster, lobster nage, a little bit of pearl couscous. Guys, I love you all. I really appreciate it. I do not take this for granted one bit. Keep in touch with me, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Shouts to the Facebook community. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to Jose. Everybody, send a special shout out to Jose for rocking with me. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.